Hey guys, good night. This is day 182, Maryam 1 to 15. Kãf-Ha-Ya Aĩn Ṣãd. This is a reminder of your Lord's mercy to his servant Zachariah, when he cried out to his Lord privately, saying, My Lord, surely my bones have become brittle, and gray hair has spread across my head. But I have never been disappointed in my prayer to you, my Lord, and I am concerned about the fate of my relatives after me, since my wife is barren. So grant me by your grace and heir, who will inherit prophethood from me and the family of Jacob, and make him a Lord pleasing to you. The angels announced, O Zachariah, indeed we give you the good news of the birth of a son, whose name will be John, a name we have not given to anyone before. You wondered, my Lord, how can I have a son when my wife is barren and I have become extremely old? The angel replied, So will it be, your Lord says. It's easy for me, just as I created you before when you were nothing. Zachariah said, My Lord, grant me a sign. He responded, Your sign is that you will not be able to speak to people for 3 nights, despite being healthy. So he came out to his people from the sanctuary, signaling to them to glorify Allah day and night. It was later said, O John, hold firmly to the scriptures, and we granted him wisdom while he was still a child, as well as purity and compassion from us. And he was God-fearing and kind to his parents. He was neither arrogant nor disobedient. Peace be upon him the day he was born, and the day of his death, and the day he will be raised back to life. Okay, when I read a story like this in Quran, the first thing actually comes to my mind is, why do we have this story? Of course, there are actually a lot of different aspects to this story, different things that we can learn from this story. But I guess the first thing that maybe is important here is, actually Quran is correcting the narration of the birth of Yahya, the John the Baptist. In Bible, the same story is actually narrated differently, a little bit different. And Quran is correcting, or the correct version of this story, giving us the story. But other than that, the other thing that actually catches my attention is the fact that Prophet Zachariah is asking, he knows his condition. He says, I'm an old man, and my wife is barren. She is incapable of having a child. He knows all that. But despite, he knows that Allah Jalla Jalaluhu can do anything He wants. He is the only creator of all these heavens and all these earth and everything in this universe, from the smallest atom to the biggest galaxy we can see or we cannot see. Everything. And despite the fact that Prophet Zachariah, he was an old person and his wife was barren, he was asking for a son from Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. But also, he was not asking a son to take care of him or some sort of to glorify his lineage or something like that, but actually to inherit the prophethood from his family, because he wants a son who will be serving on the way of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. That's the purpose of his asking for the son. And angels, the other interesting thing that comes to my mind is angels announced that, "Oh Zachariah, okay, you will have a son named John the Baptist." And the next thing he said, he didn't actually say, "Oh, thank you, my Lord. I asked for a son and you gave me a son." Next thing he asked, even though he asked for the son, and even though he knows he's an old guy and his wife is barren, it's logically impossible to have a son. And he got the good news that he's gonna have a son named John. And he said, "Oh my Lord, how can I have a son while my wife is barren and I'm extremely old?" He asked for the son actually, but he wants to, as an intellectual human being, he wants to learn actually how it's going to happen. So I guess one thing that we can learn from here is that if there's something impossible and if it is happening, it is okay for us to wonder how it is working out, how it's happening. It's okay to question how it's going to happen, not just blindly accepting it trying to understand how it's going to happen. And the angel, of course, said that it's easy for your Lord. It's easy for Allah. Just like you were nothing before and He created you, now He can create anything. And despite that response, Zachariah say, okay, my Lord, show me a sign, grant me a sign, so that I can be, in Arabic terms, it's what is called mutma'in, so that I can understand, I can feel, okay, it's gonna happen. And he responded, your sign will be that you'll not be able to speak for 3 nights, despite you're a healthy guy at that point. But in Bible, I guess, the narration of the story is something like he asked for a son, and he was his wife, of course, barren, and he was an old guy, and angels gave him the good news, and he didn't believe them, so God punished him by muting him, unable to speak 3 days to his people, sort of punishment for not believing. But here we don't see any sign of or any narrations about punishments, and I don't think it is. We cannot conclude from anything here. It's just like Abraham, prophet, asks God how it's going to recreate humans on the judgment day, and he wants to be the same mutmain. He wants to be I don't know an English word for it, actually. I'm just thinking, but he wants to actually realize, wants to know exactly how it's going to happen. He's curious about how it's going to happen. So he is questioning. So it's okay to question, I guess. We can also conclude from this story too. And of course, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu gave him a son named John, and he was a pious person. He was a prophet too. And he was neither arrogant nor disobedient. And he was kind to his parents, God-fearing, God-conscious. Yeah, what a story. so many lives and so many different stories and so many things that we can learn and, of course, apply to our own lives. Yeah, it's easy for Allah to fulfill anything impossible. Nothing is impossible for Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. It's easy